Hey darlings, we welcome you to the History Channel forever and invite you to watch the video with our new author's story. You can't do this to me and Nastia. Kira was crying, looking at her husband's things. How can I do it? Betrayal? You think so? Alexei got angry. Is it called differently? It's betrayal. You leave not only me, but also your daughter, who adores you. Listen, don't exaggerate. I don't leave my daughter. We will see each other regularly. Regularly? On Saturdays? Do you think girls at her age are enough? Or maybe you think she'll forgive you when she finds out that you're going to the Mistress. And you don't say that I'm going to the Mistress. Tell her that we just decided to live separately for a while. What? You want me to cover you in the eyes of a child? Sorry, but this is already a blatant swindle. You can't even count on it. Alexei threw his shirt on the bed and turned to his wife. You really don't understand why I leave, or you're pretending. I really don't understand, Kira admitted. Then I'll explain to you. I'm tired of you, of your constant busyness with everything except me. Where is that Kira who looked like a model from the magazine? Look at yourself. You've started yourself. You have nowhere else to go. It was very painful. But the main thing is absolutely unfair. They lived in a marriage of years. During all this time, Kira gained kg. Considering the age and the fact that she carried and gave birth to a child, this is a completely insignificant change in weight. Plus, she had another severe, unsuccessful pregnancy, after which she took hormonal drugs for almost a year. And even despite this, did not improve like many women in such cases. In addition, Kira watched over herself and always looked brilliant because she constantly communicated with customers, among whom there were many solid people, and she just could not afford to look something wrong. Kira looked at her husband with almost hateful eyes. A nasty traitor who had not for the first time started a relationship for the last 5 years, instead of just admitting to his insatiable nature, tried to blackmail and slander his wife. This is the most disgusting thing in any betrayal, not to admit your mistake, but not to deserve to blame your partner for everything. Kira stopped crying. She suddenly realized that. I don't mind him leaving, but leave. I'm tired of your lies, of your endless slanders, of your constantly changing lovers. Or do you think I don't know that this lady is far from the first? If I didn't say anything, it doesn't mean that I didn't know anything. I hope that you would get over it and slow down, that you have a middle-aged crisis. But apparently, such as you are not capable of true feelings. She turned around and left the room, loudly knocking on the door. Kira was sitting in the kitchen and drinking coffee. It was the only thing that could calm her down. She didn't understand how such a careful and caring Alexei in the last 5 years became such an ungrateful and impudent person. Most likely, it was money that was to blame. When Kira and Alexei got married, they didn't have any money. Kira had just graduated from the institute. Alexei worked at a state-owned enterprise and received a penny. After the wedding, Kira got a job at a small company as a designer. A year later, she got pregnant and released her place at the company Alexei. He was taken only during her maternity leave. The situation turned out to be quite interesting. The age difference was only 2 years. They were both designers by profession. Moreover, they studied in the same institute, but they didn't know each other at all. They met by chance on the street. Kira's package of food was torn, and Alexei helped to collect and bring them home. Kira's wife was more talented, and it always annoyed him. He remembered perfectly how Kira brought his company for the first time, and he showed his work to the manager. He looked at her with displeasure and said, "Yes, frankly speaking, your wife is much more talented than Alexei." This phrase sounded in his head regularly when he got down to work. Envy for the success of his own wife was the most vivid feeling inherent in Alexei. After the decree, Kira returned to her workplace. By that time, the company gained momentum and reached a new level. Alexei hoped that he would also be left in connection with the expansion of the state, but the head was categorical. Alexei Vladimirovich, we had a contract with you. Kira Sergeevna was on a vacation. Therefore, there can be no such contract. We say goodbye to you. He was very angry with his wife, although it was not her fault. Leshka, you'll find yourself a normal office. Why are you so upset? Kira's wife tried to support me. Where can I find an office with such a salary? You think I'm everywhere waiting? I'm not as talented as some people. Alexei got even more angry. Why are you angry at me? What's my fault? That you like my work more? Kira didn't understand. Listen, why don't you make a cool project and I'll say it's mine? I'll have a chance to join the Yashkov Corporation. There's no one in our town better than me. Kira looked at her husband with surprise. Sorry, I didn't understand. How is it? I'll do it, and you'll say it's your project? It's very simple. You're my wife, and husband and wife must help each other. But it's not fair. I can't do that. Well, then I'll be unemployed, and you'll be keeping us together, if you're so talented and gifted. Listen, don't overdo it. Look for another firm. Why do you have to get to Yeshkov? Because it's a level. It's a mega cool corporation. And then Kira told what she regretted later. Right. They are very cool, and their level needs to be matched. Even I wouldn't risk to give my project to their corporation. Alexei got angry. He ran around the room and yelled in his throat that Kira was a traitor and she didn't love him at all, considered him a scoundrel and didn't believe in him. Kira tried to calm down her husband, but everything was useless. Then Alexei left home for 2 days and lived in her blood. Kira called her and tried to talk to her husband, but Alexei didn't answer the phone and his cell phone was turned off. 2 days later, he came home himself. He apologized to Kira and admitted that he was wrong. You know, I just need support. I really want you to believe in me. I want to make a lot of money so that you and Nastia don't need anything. That's why I want to get to Kyashkov. And I was sure that you would agree to help me. But deception can easily be hidden, Kira said. I can't tell you everything about the project, so you won't be able to answer all the questions that you may be asked, you know? And what then? Shame on the whole city? You know how fast information is spread in our environment. You won't be able to settle anywhere then. I didn't think about it, to be honest. And I thought about it, so I refused to participate in this affair. Okay, I'll think of something else. For almost years Alexei was moving from firm to firm without staying long in one place. He was not satisfied with the payment and the conditions, and the management was not satisfied with the quality of Alexei's work. And then Kira's father died and left a small legacy. Kira's mother died a long time ago. She had no brothers and sisters. Therefore, everything that Sergei Vitalyevich could earn and save for his life was given to his only daughter. A 2-room apartment, a small cottage, which was more expensive as a memorial place for their family than it was some material value, and about dollar savings. Kira was surprised that her father could save such a sum, because he lived quite modestly and his pension was small. The apartment they lived in now also belonged to Kira under the agreement of the gift received from his grandmother. I thought about it and came up with something. Let's sell my dad's apartment and add to the accumulated amount and open our own design bureau, Kira suggested. Are you serious? The question sounded unclear, whether with sarcasm or with surprise. Kira did not understand. Why not? Do you think we can't handle it? Well, I don't know. It's risky and the competition is serious. Listen, let's not try. Let's not find out what we are capable of. I think we should take a risk. And the inheritance is mine, so the privileged right to make a decision is also mine. Don't be offended, of course, but you can't make a decision yourself. Okay, let's take a risk. They started to look for a room, to collect papers, and it was during this period that Kira found out that she was pregnant for the second time. You see, this is a sign that we are doing everything right, she said to her husband. But everything was not so happy. A couple of days later, Kira was admitted to a hospital with a threat of a miscarriage. Doctors strongly recommended that she lie in the hospital for at least a couple of weeks. Kira, what should we do with the company? What do you mean, what should we do? Do the opening and the design? If only Kira knew how much she will regret it in years. When her husband will leave her lover, taking not only his things, but also their joint company. But it's later. Kira was in the hospital for almost a month. She was constantly sick, as if the organism refused to accept this child. She was sent home, but she was restricted by any physical load. Kira had to lie down more, walk less, and not get nervous. She couldn't get nervous. Alexei had constant conflicts with one another. He came and told everything to Genya, complained. Kira sympathized with her husband and was constantly worried about him. As a result, she was again in the hospital. And as a result, she had a miscarriage. She spent almost a month in the hospital, and then for a long time she took different drugs. The doctor's verdict was sad. Kira will no longer be able to have children, and she dreamed so much about her son. But apparently this dream was not destined to come true. She was afraid to tell Alexei about it, but she thought that she had no right to hide this information from him. Her husband's reaction surprised her. What's the problem? We have a child. I wanted a son. I thought you wanted one too. Kira was surprised. I don't care, to be honest. Kira was offended. Not a word of support, not a word of regret, but just indifferent. I don't care. For some time, Kira was in a depressed state. She needed time to recover her soul and physical health. Meanwhile, Alexei was busy with the company. He hired people, took orders, and he did well. Just before Kira went to work. With the arrival of his wife to the company, the situation began to change. The customers who came earlier to Alexei, now they preferred to communicate with the owner, Kira Sergeyevna. She found the right project option that would suit the customer faster, was softer and more benevolent, unlike the sharp Alexei, and as a result Alexei again began to be angry at his wife and envy her success. This is how they worked all these 5 years. Alexei was looking for comfort in the arms of other women and constantly complained to his wife. Some women left him because of constant nagging. Some because they understood that if they were in the place of the spouse, he would do the same with them. That's why they didn't want to build a relationship with such a man. Women changed and changed until Alexei met Olga, half a year ago. Olga was a very stubborn and mercantile lady, and immediately realized that with the right approach to Alexei, one could make a rope out of him. She supported him, sympathized, regretted that he was so unlucky with his wife, and that his wife was such a careerist and selfish. And Alexei fell in love. That's the kind of woman he needed. All these 6 months he was arguing with his wife and looking for reasons to fight. He was a twisted lover, and he still hated Kira. Olga was telling her lover how to behave, what to say, and what exactly to blame her husband for to make her sick. And today Alexei was packing his things and left for his beloved woman, who is the only one who understands and truly loves him. Akira finished her coffee and called her friend Lena. She was not only the best friend, but also the goddess Nastia, and the most important thing was that she was an incredibly wise person. Hello, Lena. We need to meet. Hello. Did something happen? The friend understood right away. Yes, Alexei left me. What do you mean? He left. Lena didn't understand. In the most direct sense, he packed his things and left to his lover. He said that he was tired of me. What a twist. Why are you so tired of him? Because you've been pulling him all your life. You ungrateful pig. Let him get out of the company. Lena started to get angry. She always disliked Alexei, and she knew how much Kira did for him. So we can meet today? Asked Kira. Of course. I'll go to the boss and you. I'll be there in an hour. This was all Lena. If she needed help, she would give up everything and come wherever she was and did not do anything at that moment. For her, the concept of friendship was round the clock and without obstacles. Kira adored her girlfriend and tried not to use her friendship unnecessarily. But in this situation, Kira realized that without Lenka's support and advice, she would not be able to cope. Nastia came from school. Hello, Mom. Why aren't you at work? I don't care. I'm feeling fine. I stayed at home. How are you doing at school? I'm fine. Can I go for a walk for a couple of hours? And then I'll do my homework. Sure. Kira calmly allowed it. It was strange, because she usually forced Nastia to do her homework first and then go for a walk. The daughter realized that something was wrong with her mom. Mom, are you feeling okay? No, I remember you got sick, but not so much. Kira looked at her daughter and decided that she should tell her about her father's departure now. Nastia, Dad left us. I don't understand how he left. Where? To another woman. To another woman? Nastia didn't believe what she heard. And what are you doing to him? He said that I was drunk and no longer watched over me. He's blind or dumb. The girl got angry. You're the one who's been acting like a fool and not following your own steps. You're a jerk. You're as if you've been pulling on a young girl for the old age. Nastia, don't say that. He's your father. So what? Where's that father? I don't see him. I have a mother who's always been with me. And my father has been busy with himself, his ambitions, plans, and whatever else. I'm not going to talk to him. And don't ask me. You're an adult, and you can decide for yourself. I won't ask you to do it if you don't want to. What a normal person. How could I leave you? I don't understand. I'm full of some kind of stupidity. All this Nastia said to herself, going to her room. Kira heard Nastia calling someone. Katia, let's go out tomorrow. I'll stay with my mother today. Dad didn't leave us. There is a road there. I don't want to leave her alone. Kira had tears in her eyes. She always knew that she had raised a good girl, and Nastia's actions are now a confirmation of that. Nastia, I'm sorry. I accidentally heard your conversation. Aunt Lena will come to me soon. You can go for a walk if you want. No, Mom. I'll stay with you. I need a brainstorm and a female council. We will definitely come up with a way to revenge him. Honey, I don't want to revenge him. Let him live as he wants. It will be easier for us too. We just need to solve the problem with the firm. Okay, the godmother will come. We'll figure it out. This is what Nastia summed up as an adult. Lena came with a bottle of wine and a cake so that the victim's friend had a choice to drink or eat something sweet. Well, who needs an ambulance to help? She asked as soon as Nastia opened the door. Kira was always amazed by the positive of her friend. It was not clear where she got the strength and energy from, but she never ran out of them. I am so glad to see you, said Kira and hugged Lena. Come on, tell me how he dared to leave you. I was driving all the time thinking about it. After all these years he lived on everything ready and at your expense. What an ungrateful freak. She turned around and looked at Nastia standing in front of the door. Sorry, Nastia. I understand that he is your father. So what? I completely agree with you. Do you know what he accused his mother of? That she does not follow her own steps and has become fat. Is it normal? Lena was surprised and looked at Kira. Seriously? Yeah. Can you imagine? It's called talking to your lover. She hasn't seen you and thinks that you've grown up in years. What an idiot. And where does he find such stupid people? God, what should I do? I need to avenge him. But how? Asked Nastia. You need to think about it. Kira, the company is registered on you. Lena clarified. Well, yes, who else? I'm sorry, are you sure about this? Have you seen the documents? Asked her friend. Kira thought. But really, Alexei did not show her the documents. She signed a general trust for the presentation of her interests in all instances for the registration of the company, and that's it. Then she was not before that. You know, and I didn't see them. I only gave him my trust. I remember that for sure. And then you know what happened. And I didn't have time to sign. And then I just went to work, and we worked with Alexei on equal terms as co-owners. You must clarify this moment. Wait, why as co-owners? After all, the company is your idea. We decided that the company would belong to us in equal distances. Wow, so you actually gave him half of the company? It turns out. But I didn't think we would get divorced. And he has a constantly limited ambition. I wanted to somehow support him and give faith in myself. I gave. Get your thanks back with insults. Okay, calm down. I'll go to the firm tomorrow and find out everything. He won't do anything with the firm without my consent. I wish it was true, Lena said sadly. But for some reason, it seems to me that it's not so simple and obvious. My intuition suggests that he prepared some kind of a trick for you. Lena, I know that you don't like him, but you are clearly overdoing it. What kind of trick could he have prepared if the company was ours? Now there will be a question of division. Someone can buy part of the business from someone else. And whose accounts are registered? Lena clarified. Two with equal rights. Let's call the bank, Lena unexpectedly suggested, and ask for access to the account. Then it will immediately become clear who is the real owner of the account. You want to say that Alexei could have fooled me here? Kira was surprised. Don't make up things, please. I'll call you to make sure you're not mistaken. Kira called the bank in which the accounts were registered, personal and company, and asked the operator to report some details of the company's account. I'm sorry, the operator said. There is only access to such information from the account's owner. I understand. I am the owner of the account, Kira calmly answered. And I'm sorry, no, this account has only one owner. The owner doesn't mean anything. Kira was shocked. The phone fell out of her hands. I don't understand. I don't understand anything. Well, am I making things up or not? I'm afraid, my friend, that you don't have a company either. Lena resumed sadly. Can someone explain to me what's going on? Ask the one who doesn't understand anything, Nastia. Easy. Your daddy took all the money from mom's business. And in advance. Is it okay? Wow, what is this called? It's not like the company was organized for the money of my grandfather. He didn't invest a penny, and now he will get everything? And does justice even exist, or is it only in fairy tales? Nastia was angry. Girls, wait and calm down. I'll talk to Alexei. Maybe it's some kind of mistake. Oh, youth, when you married him, said Lena. After the meeting, the girls decided to postpone the meeting for tomorrow, and today they will drink wine and relax. Nastia sat down for a while and gently moved away, giving the opportunity to her mother and godfather to talk a little about their own and women's. The next day, Kira went to the company in the morning to talk to Alexei about this misunderstanding, but she was waiting for a surprise. Alexei was not there, and when he will appear, it is unknown. Kira decided to look at the papers on the firm, but she didn't find them. Apparently, Alexei hid them somewhere or put them in a way that she couldn't find them. Having been in the office until late evening, Kira dialed Alexei's number, but he was disconnected. Kira had no choice but to get ready and go home. Alexei was absent for 4 days. On the 5th day, he came to the office as if nothing had happened, and announced to his ex-wife that she no longer works here. How do you understand this? Kira was surprised. That's how you understand. You were fired, my dear. You were listed on the firm as a hired worker. Now my firm does not need your services. Therefore, you were fired. Any questions? A lot. This is our firm. And if to be more precise, this is mine. Can you fire me? Kira was starting to get angry. No, you're mistaken. The company belongs to me. Absolutely, completely. You can try to argue this in court, but I'm in a hurry to warn you. There's practically no money left on your card, and don't expect new payments. Therefore, you don't have money for a lawyer and a legal burden either. You can't do this. Oh, I've heard this phrase for a long time. Do you know? I could do it, and now I can, as I feel comfortable. Any questions? No questions. Let's get to the point. Alexei was getting angry and angry. It was obvious. But don't be upset. Such a talented designer as you will find a job quickly. And I will suffer with my own company myself. What a jerk you are. How could I have lived with you for so many years? Kira left Alexei's office, packed her personal things, and left the firm forever. For some time, she tried to change the situation and influence her ex-husband, but over time she realized that it didn't make sense. And she really didn't have money for the endless trial. Kira started looking for a job. She wasn't used to sitting idle, and couldn't do it either. She had to keep herself and provide for Nastia. She had to count on Alexei's order, and he didn't have the elements. Despite the popularity of her name, it was not possible to find a job. At Lena's advice, she posted an ad on the internet about designer services, applied for her job, and began to wait. The first client of the project appeared at Kira literally 2 days later. The man planned to restore the father's house and wanted to get a design project in as short a time as possible. Kira took the order and promised to do it in a couple of days. She was so excited about this project that she didn't sleep all night. And the next day, she sent the project to the customer. He was pleased, not only with the speed of work, but also with the quality. May I give your contacts to my friends? My friends are planning to build a house, and they need a good specialist. Of course, I will be very grateful to you. Kira was delighted. Having received his first fee for a private order with a bonus for speed, Kira was happy. The customers began to appear one after the other like mushrooms after the rain. In 3 months, Kira had already formed a queue of orders, and she recorded customers for several weeks in advance. The paradox was that despite the presence of a rather large selection of designer offices in the city, customers went to her. Some even left such famous customers as Yeshkov and ordered projects from her. Of course, she was flattered and self-esteem was raised. Gradually, Kira gained such momentum that the question arose about opening her own design bureau, since she could not fulfill such a number of orders herself. She did not have enough money for such a grandiose event, but Lena persuaded her to take a risk and take a loan. A year after the divorce with her husband, Kira had her own office, which no one could claim for sure. Things were going well, not just well, but great. The company was run by 3 architects, 4 designers, an accountant, a lawyer, a PR manager, and a secretary. In a year of work, this company was a big success. One day an unusual customer came to their office. Kira Sergeyevna took the visitor herself and could not understand what exactly he wanted. As a result, it turned out that he needed to update the interior of the hotel network. But not just to refresh the walls and ceilings, but to do something special and truly unique. Kira promised to come to one of the hotels personally, to see and understand what can be changed, how and what kind of highlight to add to the interior. In the evening, she told Nastia that she was leaving for a 2-day business trip. "Oh, this is something new. Where are you going?" asked her daughter. "In Yaroslavl. The customer has a hotel network in Russia, but he wants to start with Yaroslavl. I'll go and see what can be so interesting to come up with. The customers will soon come to you from abroad. You are becoming very popular." Nastia smiled. "I am proud of you, Mom." "Thank you, honey. I am very pleased to hear it." When Kira returned, she gathered all the designers and explained what she wanted to do in this project. The brainstorm began with the proposal of various options. As a result, a grand, large-scale option was invented, but it had to be agreed with the customer. Kira called him. "Roman Alexandrovich, good afternoon. We need to meet and discuss your order. There is a very interesting solution, but before we complete the project, I would like to receive your consent. Or if you are not satisfied, then we will think in another direction." "Hello, Kira Sergeyevna. Of course, let's meet for dinner today. Will you be at the Astoria restaurant?" Astoria was a very expensive restaurant and is not yet available for Kira, but it was not solid to refuse, so she had to agree. "Yes, it's a good choice. Let's meet at. Is that okay?" Great, then see you in the evening. About, Lena called and wanted to ask for a visit, but Kira told her friends that she couldn't make it today. She has an important meeting with the client. Oh, how interesting. And the client is young, Lena smiled. It's okay. It's just a client. You come on. Stop turning on your correctness. It's time to settle down your personal life. Stop worrying about this goat. By the way, he lives by singing to himself, for your account, if you forgot. So come on, friend. Settle down your happiness while you're young. But this customer is definitely not my variant. Why? Is he old, scary, rude, smells bad? Linka, come on, don't make fun of you in the bathhouse. He's not old. He's probably a couple of years older than me. He's not scary, rather. He's very nice, polite, and cultured. But he's too high class, much higher than Lena. I feel like I'm up to the moon. And yes, it smells divine from him. Oh, what is it like up to the moon? We didn't find ourselves on the dump, but he's married? I think so. Such a man can't be alone in the a priori. Do you know anything about him? I think so. What kind of kindergarten is it? We live in the SD century, free access to any information. You don't know anything. What's his name? His name is Roman Alexandrovich, and the surname. I'll look it up in the contract. Kira opened the contract, read the name, and didn't believe her own eyes. Yashkov. She repeated it several times. Okay, Yashkov. Why are you so hung up? Lena didn't understand. Lena, it's Yashkov. Wow, cool. She pretended to be very surprised. Lena, who is this? What are you talking about? He's the owner of the coolest construction company in the city. He dreams of working with all architects and designers. Well, sorry, I don't work in this field, so I have no idea who this is. I just don't understand why he came to our office when he was in his own place. So you'll go to him for dinner and you'll recognize him, or you're not going to the restaurant anymore. I'm going, why not? But now I don't know how to behave with him. It turns out he's lying to me, or thinks I'm very stupid if he's so impudently trying to hide who he is. Although, wait, if he tried to hide, he wouldn't have come, and wouldn't have left his coordinates. Oh my, I'm finally confused. Listen, what would you do without me? Look, Roman Alexandrovich Yeshkov, the brother of Ruslan Alexandrovich Yeshkov, who owns the very construction company. Roman Alexandrovich owns a hotel network all over Russia. He's not a poor man either. But now I don't understand why he didn't ask his brother for help and came to you. These are just mysterious mysteries. So, Kira, go to dinner and talk to him frankly. And then call me. I won't sleep from all this. I will develop a version. Okay, I'll come home and call you. Thank you for your help. Kira came to the restaurant exactly at o'clock. It's not good to be late. It's a business dinner. Roman Alexandrovich was sitting at the table and waiting for a guest. Kira came up, greeted, and sat down in front of her client. She couldn't decide where to start. From the project or from the clarification of the circumstances because of which Roman Alexandrovich visited her office. Something is bothering you? The interviewee was interested. To be honest, yes. Kira was unable to order and deceive, so she decided to ask directly. Tell me, why did you turn to my office with such a powerful company of your brother? Roman Alexandrovich smiled, as if he had been waiting for this question for a long time. You see, we had a little bit of a fight. Ruslan is older. He is sure that he knows better what and how to do. But I am a fairly mature and self-sufficient person, and I can decide how to act myself. I don't depend on him in any way, but nevertheless, he constantly tries to give advice. When I came to him with a request to develop a project for my hotels, to make them original and memorable, he said that it was unnecessary money spending and refused. I tried to convince him that my business is my children's, but unsuccessful. Then I said that I would find designers of another company and make a project for them. He laughed, sure that the best designers work only in his company. But I think that you, Kira Sergeyevna, will be able to make an unusual project and surprise my brother. Kira looked surprised and listened to the monologue of Roman Alexandrovich. Yes, life sometimes does not throw surprises. She smiled and said in silence, You know, it's extremely difficult to surprise me, but you did it. Your brother is certainly right. He really has the best specialist working. But for me, this situation is a challenge. I am an ambitious and moderately skilled person, so I cannot fail to accept it. We have already invented something original for your network, but I need you to either approve the strategy or reject it. Only then we can work further. Kira took out sketches of the project and put it on the table in front of Roman Alexandrovich. He took the folder in his hands, opened it, and began to look at it with impatience. He was reading the paper for a long time, over and over again. Kira felt her hands trembling with excitement, and the sweat of the thin stream was flowing down her back. Kira Sergeyevna, you are a genius. No mercy and exaggeration. This is not just a project. This is the realization of my imagination, which I could not explain in any way. How? Tell me, how did you do it? Do you read thoughts? Roman Alexandrovich couldn't sit still. His emotions were spreading. It was clear that these were sincere feelings that couldn't be played. So Kira is a good designer after all. You're embarrassing me now. Half of the restaurant is looking at me. Roman Alexandrovich didn't notice that he went over to a loud whisper, almost a scream when he praised Kira. Let them look. It's unreal. It's just fantastic. I have no words. He took the sketches in his hands again. Where do I need to sign? I accept this project. Wait, it's still raw. We'll finish it up and I'll send it to you by mail. Great. I'm delighted. I didn't come to you for nothing. We can do so much more with you. He kept silent and smiled mysteriously. I imagine Ruslin's face. Do you think Ruslin will like this project? Of course. I think he'll come visit you soon with the offer to join his company. He can't stand competition. If someone is truly talented, he must work for him. That's his life principle. It will be difficult for you to fight him. That's all I needed to stop the war with Yeshkov himself. Kira smiled sadly. Don't worry, I'll be there. If you don't have a very jealous husband. I'm divorced, Kira calmly said. And your wife will not be jealous? I'm a widow. I have a son. We live together. Sorry. It's okay. Everything is fine. My wife died 5 years ago. I have already accepted it and live on. And you have children? Yes, her daughter is already. Soon she will be. We also live together. Such an adult. You were probably born too early. Sorry for the question. Why too early? I was born at the age of. I'm Roman Alexandrovich. I've never been ashamed of my age and never hid it, as some women do. I don't see the point. I would never have thought you were so old. It's not a joke or a compliment. It's the truth. I thought you were much younger. You look amazing.
Kira smiled.
At that moment, I really wanted to tell her that she had divorced her husband because he thought it was the opposite. Thank you. And you?
I'm
not much older than you. I look older, right? No. I told my friend that you were probably a couple of years older than me, Kira said, and did not immediately understand what she was saying. Roman Alexandrovich was surprised to see the interlocutor. You were talking about me with a friend? She just wanted to come to me today, and I said that I have a business dinner in a restaurant, and she immediately asked who and how old he is. Lena does not leave an attempt to give me a second marriage. With tension, Kira smiled. Lord, why am I saying all this? What a shame. If he runs away from me, then I need to think about what to talk to who. What an idiot I am. She scolded herself. You have a good friend. Smile. Roman Alexandrovich. Yes, it's true. After dinner and discussing all the details of the project, Roman Alexandrovich suggested that Kira take a walk. If you don't hurry, of course. No, everything is fine. I just need to call my daughter and find out how she is. Of course, no problem. I understand. Nastia was home. She had already had dinner and watched some movie on the internet. Mom, don't worry. I'm already an adult. And you rest, it's not too late. Okay, I'll be there soon. They left the restaurant and went along the embankment. Roman Alexandrovich's car followed them. The walk turned out to be incredibly pleasant. Kira told about her realized projects, which she was proud of. Roman Alexandrovich about his hotels scattered all over Russia. They had something to talk about. They were very interested in talking to each other. They did not notice how they walked to her house. I have to go. We came, Kira said sadly. She really did not want to part with this man. You are upset with something, Roman Alexandrovich asked. Did I upset you or hurt you? No, it's not. On the contrary, I was very pleased to talk to you. Ah, so that's why you were upset. We can repeat this evening as soon as you want. And you, looking into your eyes, asked Kira. I already want to, smiled Roman Alexandrovich. Kira was embarrassed and lowered her eyes. Let's first do your project, and then we'll sit in the restaurant again and celebrate, Kira suggested. How much time does your team need to complete it? A couple of days. Then I agree. Agreed. I'll be waiting for the project by mail. And thank you for a wonderful evening. He bowed and kissed her hand. And thank you. Kira smiled and looked him in the eye again. See you later. She came home happy and content. Mom, you're walking, of course. But now I understand what it is to wait for someone. How was the dinner? Great, Nastia. I think I fell in love. Wow, this is news. At first glance? No, we've already talked to him. So, Kira smiled at the second one. Ah, well, it changes the matter, of course, Nastia laughed. Who is he? I'll show you now. Ask Roman Alexandrovich Yeshkov in the search engine. Nastia quickly typed the data and, seeing the photo, whistled. Wow, good choice, Mommy. Owner of the Network Hotel, dear brother of the owner of the construction corporation. Wow. Well, at least it won't squeeze your firm away from you. And he's so cute. I like him. We approve. Nastia, come on. It was me who fell in love with him, not him with me. He needs me for 100 years. Why? Why did he invite you to a restaurant? To discuss the project we are working on. Mom, you are a smart and beautiful girl, but in love questions, a kettle. I'm sorry. Would a man invite a woman to a restaurant to discuss the project? This can be done perfectly in the office during working hours. And since he invited you, it means he liked you first of all as a woman. Do you think? Of course, I don't even doubt it. If you don't believe me, call the godmother and ask her. Oh, I promised to call her. Do you think it's not too late? I think not, especially considering that. She's waiting for your call. She called me twice, and in the evening I asked if you came or not. Okay, I'll change my clothes and get dressed. It was already about, but Kira still called her friend. Are you sleeping? No, of course. I'm waiting for a report from a walk. Come on, tell me. Kira told how the evening went, what they were talking about, that then they went for a walk and admitted that she fell in love with this man. Finally, God heard my prayers, said Lena. This is already too much suffering for Alexei. Well, don't swear, only you know, Lenka. I think we won't succeed. Where am I and where is he? Listen, don't think too much. According to your stories, he's a normal man. And he's not from the royal family, just as simple as you are. Yes, but he has a powerful brother who hates me for this project. So what? What does his brother have to do with it? He has his own head on his shoulders. Moreover, he is not afraid of his brother. Otherwise, he would not have gone to this conflict with the project. So don't worry and build your new relationships calmly. Okay, I calmed down, I'll try. They talked a little more, and Kira went to shower and sleep. The day, or rather the evening, turned out to be emotional, so she fell asleep quickly. She dreamed of her office, the project of Roman, then his brother Ruslan. She argued with him about something, he persuaded her, but Kira did not agree. Then she took Nastia to school and went to work. Today, we need to work hard on the novel project to finish it faster, and there was a reason to meet again. She joined the team, and by the evening the project was almost ready. Kira looked at the clock, 7:30. Guys, let's go. Tomorrow we'll finish it by morning. There's not much left. Everyone left. Kira is left alone. Suddenly the door was knocked. Yes, Kira calmly said, not expecting who she would see now. The door opened. Roman Alexandrovich was standing at the door with a huge bouquet of red roses. Good evening. You know, I thought and decided that we can have dinner without a reason. He smiled. What do you say? Good evening. Happy Kira smiled. I do not object. She came up to the novel, took the bouquet, and brought it to her face. The roses smelled divine. Thank you. I'm very pleased. A beautiful woman should receive flowers regularly as a recognition of her beauty and charm. Not all men think so, but the fools too. Then they risk losing their women. There will definitely be someone who will truly appreciate women. Maybe. You still have a lot of work to do. It's just that all your employees have already left. You won't be working alone. How do you know that everyone has left? Did you follow my office? I had to. I didn't want to put you in an awkward position. Thank you. It's nice that you care about my reputation. But as they said in one famous movie, I have such an indisputable reputation that I have long had to compromise. Kira smiled. I will know. But without your consent, I didn't dare to go in the presence of the workers. Let's go have dinner. I'm very hungry. Kira smiled again. Today's dinner was more interesting and emotional than the first one. Roman Alexandrovich looked at Kira like a cat on a sour cream. She saw it and understood that a man at this age would not walk around for a long time. But Roman Alexandrovich held himself in his arms and didn't allow anything unnecessary. The only thing he couldn't hold on to was a farewell kiss. Roman was experiencing such emotions for the first time. After his wife's death, he had no relationship for almost a year. Then women began to appear, but these were not obligatory relationships. And this woman caused a storm of emotions in him. He enjoyed communicating with her, and he didn't want to let her go. But he had to let her go, because Kira was waiting for Nastia at home. Kira went upstairs, opened the door, and heard that her daughter was talking to someone. She went to the kitchen and saw Alexei. Oh, Mom is here. Alexei said that while playing, but when he looked at Kira, he was a little tense. Where did we come from? So beautiful. From work. What are you doing here? Asked Kira, who clearly did not expect to see her ex-husband in her kitchen. All the time after the divorce, Alexei came to Nastia only once and called several times. Where is our mother working? Asked Alexei and Nastia. Mom works for herself. She has her own company, said the girl for some reason. Seriously? Alexei was surprised. How long? A year, probably. How interesting, and how successful. Do you have any clients? Or should I throw a couple of old friends? Alexei was clearly angry. And then Nastia gave out something that was clearly not worth saying. Well, I don't think you have any customers. Do you even know who it is? The girl with her teenage maximalism didn't understand what she was doing. She was revengeful as a child, as the traitor's father could. Who are your clients? Alexei didn't believe what he heard. This is another Yashkov. Not the one you think. Just a single name? No, his brother. And what business does he have? Then Kira realized that it was time to finish this circus. So, you came to see your daughter? Please. But I'm not going to talk about business with you. Got it? Kira turned around and went into the room. Nastia was scared that she had said too much and ran after her mother. Mom, am I a fool? Yes, he didn't need to tell her about it. It's okay, Nastia. It's not a problem at all. I understand that you wanted to make him angry. Okay, I'll go then. I'll see him off. He's been sitting for half an hour already. Alexei left, and Kira simply thought that it was all over. But no. When Alexei left his ex-wife's apartment, he immediately went online to see who his brother was. The results of the issue shocked him. Alexei was not a talented designer, but he was not a fool either. He understood that the owner of the hotel network could order several projects from Kira at once. And this is a very big money for a small firm. He came home and immediately told everything to Olga. Can you imagine? She managed to make me a bastard and take away a fat client. Why did he even go to her? Where is her office? Somewhere on the outskirts? Alex, calm down. Why are you so angry? What? Because I didn't leave her money at all, and she still managed to get up. You should have seen her. She came all happy and angry. So let's think of something. Can we somehow lure her clients? How? How do I know? What are the options? I have a better idea. Let's pretend I want to go back to her and offer her to merge the companies, and then I'll make sure she stays with her nose again. I'm not sure she'll ever make up with me. Why would she do that? Well, why not? A woman under is not much needed, especially with an adult child. I'll say that I realized everything and want to return to the family. She is reliable. She will believe. I don't like this idea, but okay. Only I will have one condition. You will not sleep with her, said the ultimate Olga. Okay, agreed with Alexei and thought about himself that without this there is no chance to return Kir. He decided to act on Monday to avoid Kira's suspicions. She is, of course, reliable, but not stupid. Meanwhile, Roman invited Kira to the weekend out of town. Will you have someone to leave Nastia with? I just want to be alone with you, without children. Kira understood perfectly well where and why they were going, and did not mind at all. The question with Nastia is also easily solved. There is a friend, Lena, who, having learned where Kira and with whom are going, will gladly agree to be with the nun and all the weekend. Of course, I have a best friend, Lena. She is my daughter's goddaughter, so there will be no problem. Then I'll pick you up on Friday at. Okay? Yes, great. The weekends went by magically. They dreamed of a common future, were planning and talking. Roman once again told Kiri how his brother reacted to her project, and Kira listened with pleasure. Ruslan wanted to get such a designer in his staff, but Roman warned his brother that Kira is the owner of his own bureau and absolutely definitely does not want any merger. And in this case, it would be not even a merger, but a seizure. Then Ruslan suggested working with Kira on a new project for the city, a tender one by Ruslan's company recently. Brother, you need to talk to Kira yourself. I don't want to be an intermediary in such matters. Besides, I have a slightly different direction, and I don't mean your business. On the same day, Ruslan personally came to Kiri's office, and they agreed to work together on this huge project. Kira was happy with this offer, and those compliments that Ruslan Alexandrovich gave her, admiring her professional qualities. And all this happened just a couple of days ago. And today she is even happier. Kira, I have an idea. When are you and Ruslan going to start working? What about next month? Let's go to the islands with the kids for a week, because there will be a lot of work later, and we won't have time to rest. Plus, don't forget that we have a contract for a series of design projects for my hotels. I remember everything, Roman. Let me talk to Nastia, and you to Kirill. And if the kids don't mind, we can go for a week to rest. How can you make a deal with that? Smiled Saruman. I have another proposal then. Let's sign on the islands. And we'll play the wedding with the guests when you and Ruslan finish the project. Kira got tired and looked at Saruman. Are you making me a proposal? What? It doesn't look like it at all, does it? Or do you think I'm a joker and I've clamped a ring? Laughed Saruman. I didn't think so, and it's not important at all. Roman put his hand under the pillow, took out the box with the ring from there, opened it, and stretched it out to Kiria. Dear Kira Sergeyevna, will you agree to become my wife? She already agreed. She bowed and kissed Roman. And you're a cunning one. it turns out. If in order to surprise the beloved woman, then a very big, cunning one. I never lie. I don't understand why live with a man if he needs to lie. I adore you. She kissed Roman again. They came back home on Sunday evening. Kira shouted from the door, "Girls, are you home?" "Home," they shouted in chorus. "I have news. I'm getting married."
Kira happily shouted.
Lena and Nastia, who came out to meet her, were surprised. "So fast?" asked Nastia. "This is not all the news. On Friday, we are flying with Roma and the children to the islands. And there we want to sign up. And we will play the wedding after the project is over." "Ah, I didn't tell you. I will participate in one big city project with Ruslan Yashkov." Kira shone with happiness. "How do you like the news?" "Just to be stunned," said Nastia. "It is said softly." The girl was holding her hand. "And the ring?" "Yes, here it is." Kira showed her hand with the ring. "Is it emerald?" "Yes. Roma thought that emerald would be the best for my green eyes. The diamond is too banal." "Wow." Lena whistled. "Nastia, do you agree to go to the islands with us?" asked Kira to her daughter. "No, of course, I'm not normal. I will go to school. I will go to live with my dad and his passions." Kira and Lena laughed, because Nastia had such a face that it was impossible to hold on. Monday began with a surprise. When Kira came to the office, Alexei was already waiting for her there. She looked at her ex-husband with surprise. "She's not here at school. I need to talk to you, not Nastia. I'm sorry, but I don't have time. I have a very busy week ahead of me. If it's really necessary, let's meet in a couple of weeks and talk. Just call me in advance and agree to the visit. I have a tight schedule." Alexei was sure that Kira was just trying to show his business importance and his work. "Listen, I understand everything. You are offended at me. There is a reason. But we are not strangers. We have lived together for years. We have a common child. Everyone makes mistakes. It happens. Alexei, I don't understand what you want. Can you be more specific? I have a meeting with Ruslan Alexandrovich in half an hour. It's just not fair to be late, you know?" Alexei either didn't hear who Kira was meeting with, or pretended not to hear, and continued to insist on his own. "Let's sit down and talk normally. Tell me, where and when?" "I told you when, in 2 weeks. It won't work out before." "I'm really busy, sorry. To be honest, I don't understand why we should meet and what to talk about. You made your choice yourself. I want us to be together again." Alexei decided to go to the bank and took out a small bouquet of flowers from the car. "I realized that I only needed you and Nastia. I will not have other women. I swear to you, please, give me a second chance." Kira looked at her ex-husband and tried to understand the degree of sincerity of his words. In the end, they really lived together for years, and that's not a small thing. "You mean you broke up with Olga?" Kira didn't believe you. "Yes, we broke up. I thought for a long time after our last meeting and realized that my relationship with her was a mistake. A man is a strange creature. He usually values what he has lost. But we still have a chance. Tell me." Kira didn't know what to say. On the one hand, he is right, and they lived together for many years, and everyone has the right to try to fix the situation, to rehabilitate in the eyes of another. But on the other hand, he betrayed her and deceived her. He initially intended to take away her company, so he made everything up. Moreover, he did not leave her access to the bank account. And thirdly, why should she give him a second chance? She has a man who is very warm, and he's very sensitive to her. She feels the same light feelings. Why does she have to destroy all this? What for? For the unsuccessful attempt to glue the broken cup. "Lyosha, you know, I think it's not worth to make up for what cannot be together." "True. It's stupid and hopeless." Kira even wanted to apologize now and say that she is sorry that everything happened like this. But at that moment Alexei called the phone. He took it and said emotionally, "Yes, Lola. I'll call you back. Alexei looked at the killer and realized that the deception was revealed. You need to learn to lie properly, or you'll fall too quickly. I even thought for a minute that you really repented and want to come back, but I shouldn't have thought that. As the French say, the foxes change their fur coat, not their fur coat. It's about you. Go, Alex. I'm sick of looking at you. A very expensive car came to the office, and a novel with a huge bouquet of roses came out of it. Alexei appreciated the bouquet and looked at his own. He was clearly losing. The idiot was greedy. He had to buy a huge bouquet, and I didn't have a chance with my broom. Seeing the man with flowers near the car, Roman was slightly surprised. No, everything is fine. It's Nastia's father. He is leaving already. Kira calmly and confidently answered. She took the bouquet of the novel and kissed it gently. Alexei Sharashin looked at his ex-wife. He could not imagine that his wife would not only be able to start a business from scratch, but also build new relationships with another man. He threw his modest bouquet on the bench, turned around, sat in the car, and left. What did he want from you? Asked Roman. You were surprised, but he wanted to come back. Why am I surprised? It's strange to me that he left, but the fact that he wants to come back is just normal. I would agree with you if not for one thing. But he doesn't need me. He needs my money and connections. Well, my twisted business, of course. I found out that he has a very bad business. It's not surprising. In business, as in life, you are either a decent person in every sense or not. Here you can see who is who. At the end of the week, Roman, Kira, and the children flew to the island. Nastia and Kirill, surprisingly, quickly became friends. Oddly enough, they even looked a little like brothers and sisters. Roman and Kira got married on the island, and the wedding was played only 4 months after the return. Kira and Nastia moved to live in Roman's house. And 3 months after the wedding, a real miracle happened in the Yashkov family. Kira found out that she was pregnant. Kira, my dear, this is the best news. Roman was happy. It is such a good news that we will have another child. The doctors told me that I can never have children again. Stupidity. Everything can happen to you with me. Believe me. It's just the beginning. Alexei, finding out that his ex-wife married a businessman, sold his falling company for a penny and left the city. The paradox was that he not only abandoned his lover Olga, but also took all her jewelry and savings and left.